In the quiet of the night, as you drift toward rest, you step into the unseen realm where the seeds of your tomorrow are planted. Your mind is the rich soil, and every thought you hold is a seed, whether of plenty or of lack. Tonight, we choose only the seeds of abundance, prosperity, and overflowing supply. There is a law that governs all life, a perfect, unchanging principle that moves in divine order. It does not falter, it does not forget. It mirrors back to you what you hold in the silence of your heart. As you close your eyes now, you claim your birthright wealth that flows without toil, supply that knows no end, joy that overflows like a river after the rain. In this perfect moment, you know, you are not the source of your wealth, God is. The infinite mind has already prepared for you every opportunity, every connection, every provision you could ever need. It is finished. You do not have to strive for it. You only have to align with it. The world may whisper of shortage, but in the realm of spirit, there is no lack. The storehouse of heaven is overflowing, and it is open to you now. As you sleep, your subconscious is being imprinted with divine plenty. Every cell of your body relaxes into knowing that all is well, that all is provided for, that your wealth is secure and growing. Tonight, you forgive all debt, both yours and others. You release every wrong, every fear, every shadow of unworthiness. You are washed clean by the river of divine love, and in this cleansing, you make room for the riches that are already on their way to you. You declare now, I am a perfect channel for divine wealth. I attract the right opportunities, the right people, and the right ideas at the right time. Money comes to me in expected and unexpected ways. I live in overflow. My cup runs over. As you drift deeper into rest, angels go before you to prepare the way. Doors swing wide open, paths are cleared. Where there was once delay, there is now acceleration. Where there was once confusion, there is now clarity. The law of divine compensation is at work for you now, restoring, increasing, multiplying, overflowing. Sleep now in peace. The unseen is already arranging the scene. You do not need to chase wealth. It will find you, it will cling to you, it will remain with you. Rest in the knowing that you are safe, you are provided for, you are blessed beyond measure. And when you awaken, you will walk into the day as one who knows that all the wealth of heaven is behind you, beside you, and within you. You will speak words of power, act with confidence, and see your life blossom with abundance in ways beyond your imagining. Your thoughts are seeds, and every moment of the day you are planting them in the fertile soil of your subconscious mind. Just as a garden will yield whatever is planted, whether roses or weeds, so your life will yield the harvest of the thoughts you allow to take root. The soil does not question the seed. It does not decide whether it should grow or not. It simply receives, nurtures, and brings forth in kind. In the same way, the subconscious does not argue with you. It accepts the ideas you repeat and feel deeply, and it works faithfully to manifest them in the outer world. When you understand this truth, you begin to take your thought life seriously. You recognize that every idle worry, every hidden resentment, every repeated fear is a seed dropped into the ground, quietly waiting for its time to sprout. And just as surely, every vision of abundance, every affirmation of love, every moment of gratitude is also a seed that will grow. The choice of what fills your mental garden is always yours. The weeds will grow as easily as the flowers, for the law is impartial. It will give back to you in the same nature as what you have sown. The beauty of this principle is that you can change your harvest by changing your planting. You can begin right now to sow thoughts of prosperity, joy, health, and peace, even if yesterday's garden was choked with weeds of doubt and lack. You are free today to plant anew. And just like a wise gardener, you must be persistent and intentional. Seeds are delicate at first. They need consistent care. A single new thought planted today will not overturn a lifetime of contrary beliefs unless you continue to water it with your attention and nourish it with your faith. Your imagination is the hand that plants these seeds. Every mental picture you hold is placed in the soil of your subconscious. When you dwell on a vision of yourself living in abundance, you are placing a seed of wealth into the ground. When you see yourself surrounded by loving relationships, you are planting seeds of harmony. These images, repeated with feeling, sink deep into the subconscious where they germinate quietly, beyond your conscious awareness. And then, when the season is right, they push through into your lived reality. It is essential to guard your mental garden from intruders. Negative influences, fearful conversations, or your own inner critic can scatter seeds you do not want to grow. You must train yourself to reject the thoughts that do not serve you. Just as a gardener pulls up weeds before they take hold, you must uproot destructive thoughts before they become beliefs. This is not about fearfully avoiding every negative moment. It is about knowing your power and exercising it. You can look at a thought of worry and say, "This is not the harvest I desire," and replace it with an image of what you do desire. Remember, seeds do not sprout the moment they are planted. There is a season of unseen growth. Beneath the surface, the roots are forming, the soil is warming, and life is stirring in silence. In this time, you may not see any change in your outer circumstances, but the law is at work. Trust this unseen process. Keep watering your good seeds with faith-filled affirmations, with gratitude for what is already yours, and with the quiet knowing that the harvest is inevitable. If you have been planting thoughts of limitation, it is not too late to replant. The moment you choose differently, you set a new crop in motion. The moment you decide to sow abundance, kindness, and faith, your future begins to change shape. In time, you will look around and see that your life is filled with exactly what you planted, and you will understand with unshakable certainty that your thoughts were always the seeds of your reality. Wealth flows from the divine source, for all that is good and lasting originates from the infinite mind that governs all life. This source is limitless, eternal, and ever-giving. It is the same power that causes the sun to rise each morning, the rivers to flow without ceasing, and the earth to bring forth fruit in its season. Just as the ocean never runs dry, the divine supply never diminishes. No matter how much is drawn from it, there is always more, for it is the essence of abundance itself. Every coin, every opportunity, every inspired idea is but a channel through which this infinite wealth expresses itself in your life. When you recognize the divine as the true source of your supply, you are freed from the strain of believing that you must make everything happen by your own effort. You are no longer dependent on a single job, a specific client, or one narrow channel of income. Instead, you understand that these are only instruments through which the greater source flows. If one channel closes, another will open, for the supply is not tied to the form. It is rooted in spirit, and spirit is boundless. This realization removes fear, for you know that the source can never be exhausted, and that your connection to it can never be severed. Wealth is not something you chase, it is something you align with. The divine is like an ever-flowing river, and you are the vessel receiving its waters. When you open yourself through faith, gratitude, and expectancy, the current moves toward you effortlessly. When you close yourself through fear, resentment, or a belief in lack, you block the flow. The river does not stop because it is unwilling. It is your own resistance that prevents it from reaching you. To live in abundance is to live in harmony with this flow. letting it move freely without anxiety or doubt. The wealth of the divine source is not only material, it is the richness of health, peace, joy, and fulfilling relationships. Money is but one expression of it, and when you align with the source, you find that all areas of life are touched. There is no division in divine abundance. It is complete and perfect in every way. When you seek the source first, the forms of wealth naturally appear as a reflection of your inner alignment. You no longer grasp for what you want. Instead, it comes to you as naturally as breathing. To connect with this flow, you must recognize it as already present within you. You are not separate from the source, you are a living expression of it. The same creative power that formed the stars moves through your mind, inspiring ideas, guiding steps, and arranging circumstances. The more you trust this inner guidance, the more easily the wealth of the universe flows into your experience. Your role is not to force outcomes, but to remain in a state of receptivity and faith, allowing the divine to work through you and for you. Every time you affirm that you are provided for, every time you give thanks for the blessings you have, you open the channel wider. Gratitude is the signal to the universe that you are ready for more. Faith is the magnet that draws abundance into visible form. When you live with the awareness that all you have and all you will ever have comes from the divine source, you carry a deep, unshakable security. You no longer measure your wealth by what is in your bank account today, but by the infinite supply that stands ready to pour into your life tomorrow. In this knowing, you walk in peace, for you understand that you are forever connected to the endless stream of divine provision, and that nothing can take it from you. Lack is an illusion, for in the realm of spirit there is no shortage, no withholding, no absence of good. The infinite source from which all things come is boundless and ever flowing, and nothing can diminish its supply. What appears as lack in the material world is merely a reflection of limited perception, a shadow cast by fear and disbelief. It is not the truth of reality, for the truth is abundance, overflowing and unending. Just as a cloudy sky does not remove the sun, but merely hides it from view, so the sense of lack does not erase the abundance that is always present. It only veils it from the eyes of faith. The idea of lack begins in thought, for the mind sees what it believes. When one believes in scarcity, every circumstance is interpreted as proof of it. A bill arrives and the thought says, "There is not enough." An opportunity passes and the thought says, "There will not be another." These thoughts do not reflect the truth. They create a distorted lens through which life is viewed. The law of mind is that what you dwell upon expands, so the more you dwell on lack, the more evidence you seem to find. Yet the cause is not the outer world. It is the inner conviction that shortage exists. In the spiritual reality, supply is infinite. Nature itself testifies to this truth. The oceans never say, "There is too much water to hold." The earth never says, "There are too many flowers to bloom." The sun never says, "I have given too much light today." The same abundance that governs the natural world governs your life, for you are part of that divine order. Just as seeds contain the fullness of the plant that will grow, every desire contains the supply for its fulfillment. There is no desire placed within you that does not already have its provision prepared. The illusion of lack often comes from comparing one's current circumstances to an imagined standard of what should be. Yet this comparison overlooks the unseen flow that is always working. Money you do not yet see is already on its way. Opportunities you have not yet heard of are being prepared. People who will bless your life are even now being positioned to meet you. The outer delay is not absence, it is timing. Just as fruit must ripen before it is ready to eat, so abundance must reach its appointed moment before it appears. When you recognize lack as an illusion, you refuse to give it power. You no longer speak words of shortage or dwell on what is missing. Instead, you affirm the truth of abundance in every situation. If the bank account seems low, you bless it and declare it full. If work feels uncertain, you affirm that new opportunities are being drawn to you even now. By doing this, you align with the unseen reality, and the outer world begins to reshape itself to match your inner knowing. Lack loses its grip the moment you understand that your source is not the economy, not a job, not even a particular person. It is the infinite, which can create 1,000 channels in an instant. When one door closes, it is only because another, greater door is about to open. In the divine order, there is never a true absence, only a shift in form. What appears to be loss is often the clearing away of what no longer serves, making room for greater good to enter. In truth, you are surrounded by abundance at all times, ideas waiting to be acted upon, relationships waiting to be formed, resources waiting to be claimed. When you release the belief in lack, you awaken to this reality. You see that the supply has always been there, quietly waiting for you to believe in it enough to reach out and receive it. And in that moment, the illusion dissolves, and you step into the unshakable truth that all you could ever need or desire is already yours. Release blocks through forgiveness, for nothing hinders the flow of divine abundance more than holding on to resentment, guilt, or old wounds. These emotional weights act like stones placed in a clear stream, obstructing the current of good that is meant to move freely through your life. The source is always giving, always pouring out blessings, yet unforgiveness creates a dam in the mind and heart, preventing that good from reaching you. Forgiveness is not about excusing wrong behavior or pretending pain never happened. It is about freeing yourself from the grip of the past so that you can receive the blessings of the present. When you hold on to anger towards someone, your thoughts keep returning to the hurt, replaying the scene again and again. This repetition imprints the pain into your subconscious, reinforcing the vibration of lack, injustice, and separation. As long as you carry this, your energy is entangled with the very thing you want to be free from. Forgiveness severs that tie. It says, "This has no more power over me. I choose to release it and move into my good." By doing so, you lift the weight that has been pressing down on your spirit and allow the channels of abundance to open wide once more. The same is true when the one you need to forgive is yourself. Self-condemnation is a quiet but powerful block. It tells you you are unworthy of love, success, or provision. It keeps you living small, accepting less than you deserve. Yet the divine does not hold your mistakes against you. The moment you turn toward truth, you are restored in the eyes of spirit. To forgive yourself is to agree with that truth. It is to say, "I accept that I am made new, that my worth is unshakable, that nothing I have done can separate me from the flow of my good." In this acceptance, the old chains fall away, and life can begin to pour blessings into your hands again. Forgiveness is an act of trust. It is trusting that justice belongs to the divine, and that the law of cause and effect will take care of all things in perfect balance. You do not need to carry the burden of revenge or the weight of anger. You can lay it down, knowing that what is right will prevail in ways far beyond your own efforts. This release restores your peace of mind, and peace is the perfect soil in which prosperity can grow. When you forgive, you also change the energy you send into the world. Resentment sends out a signal of conflict, which attracts more experiences of conflict. Forgiveness sends out a signal of harmony, which draws harmony back to you. This is not just a moral principle, it is a spiritual law. What you hold within is reflected without. By forgiving, you align yourself with love, and love is the highest vibration of abundance. Sometimes forgiveness must be repeated. Old memories can resurface, bringing back the sting of the past. In these moments, forgiveness becomes a daily choice, a continual act of releasing. Each time you let go, you weaken the power of that old wound until it can no longer touch you. Eventually, the memory remains, but it no longer carries pain. It becomes simply a chapter in your story, one that no longer controls your present or your future. As you release through forgiveness, you may notice an almost immediate shift in your life. Opportunities appear where there were none, relationships soften, unexpected blessings arrive. This is because the blocks have been removed, and the stream of abundance can once again flow freely. You stand open and receptive, no longer weighed down by what has been, but ready to receive all that is now being given. In this state of release, you discover that forgiveness is not only a gift to others, it is one of the greatest gifts you can give yourself, for it unlocks the doors to your own prosperity and peace. Declare your wealth identity, for the words you speak about yourself shape the life you experience. Every statement you make is a command to the subconscious mind, and the subconscious works tirelessly to fulfill those commands. When you declare yourself prosperous, blessed, and overflowing with abundance, you are planting those truths deep within the fertile soil of your inner being. Over time, they take root, grow strong, and bear fruit in the form of opportunities, provision, and financial freedom. You are not simply wishing for wealth, you are affirming it as a fact of your identity, and in doing so, you align yourself with the law of abundance that governs the universe. Too often, people speak words that contradict their desires. They say, "I can't afford that," or "I'm always broke," or "money never stays with me." These statements are not harmless. They are declarations of identity that the subconscious takes as truth. The outer world then shapes itself to match that inner belief. To step into a life of abundance, you must speak only what you want to live, not what you wish to leave behind. Your words should point toward the wealth you claim, not the lack you reject. Declaring your wealth identity is not about arrogance or pretending. It is about acknowledging your true nature as an heir to divine abundance. The source that created you is infinite, and you are a channel through which its wealth can flow. When you declare, "I am wealthy," you are not speaking of a number in a bank account. You are speaking of your alignment with infinite supply. You are affirming that wealth is your natural state, and that everything in your life moves in harmony with that truth. These declarations become even more powerful when they are spoken with emotion and conviction. The subconscious responds to feeling more than to words alone. When you say, "I am a magnet for wealth," feel the truth of it. See yourself living in that reality. Imagine the freedom, the security, the joy of having more than enough. Let your entire being vibrate with the certainty that it is already yours. This emotional alignment charges your words with creative power, drawing the corresponding experiences into your life. You must also be consistent in declaring your wealth identity. Just as a seed must be watered regularly to grow, your affirmations must be repeated daily to bear fruit. A single statement made once may inspire you in the moment, but it is the repeated, unwavering declaration that reprograms your inner beliefs. Over time, these beliefs become so deeply rooted that they override old patterns of scarcity and replace them with patterns of prosperity. Declaring your wealth identity also influences your actions. When you truly see yourself as wealthy, you make decisions from a place of abundance, not fear. You invest in yourself, you give generously, you step into opportunities with confidence. The energy you carry, attracts others who resonate with that same vibration, opening doors you never knew existed. Life begins to mirror back to you the wealth, consciousness you have established within. This practice is not dependent on your current circumstances. You may begin declaring your wealth identity when your bank account is empty, when debts weigh on your mind, or when opportunities seem scarce. The point is not to describe your present, it is to define your future by declaring, "I am wealthy." Now, you shift your focus from what is to what will be, and in doing so, you invite the unseen to take form in the seen. The more you affirm this truth, the faster the outer world aligns with it. In time, your declarations cease to feel like affirmations and become simple statements of fact. You no longer say, "I am wealthy." To convince yourself, you say it because you know it. The evidence of that truth surrounds you in the form of financial stability, creative opportunities, fulfilling work, and the deep peace of knowing that you live in the flow of endless supply. By declaring your wealth identity, you step into your rightful place as a co-creator with the divine, shaping a life where prosperity is not just a goal, but the very essence of who you are. Rest in trust. For the moment you surrender your fears and let go of anxious striving, the way is cleared for abundance to reach you. Trust is the quiet confidence that the divine has already prepared the provision you need, even before you asked. It is knowing that the same power that moves the stars in perfect harmony is moving in your life with equal precision and care. When you rest in trust, you step out of the exhausting effort of forcing outcomes and into the peaceful assurance that all is unfolding in right order. This state of being opens the channels for blessings to flow swiftly and naturally into your experience. Anxiety and doubt act as blocks to the current of supply. They tighten your energy, closing the very door through which your good would enter. You may be praying for wealth, but if you are secretly worried about how or when it will come, you are sending mixed signals to the universe. Trust removes this contradiction. It says, "I believe my good is already mine, even if I cannot yet see it." This inner certainty allows you to release the need to control the details and instead focus on staying aligned with the feeling of already having received. Resting in trust is not passivity, it is active faith. It is choosing to think, speak, and act in ways that match your desired outcome, even while the evidence has yet to appear. You continue to plant seeds of abundance through your thoughts and words, but you are not constantly digging them up to see if they are growing. You know that once planted, they are doing their work in the unseen. You let time, divine order, and right action do their part, confident that the harvest is assured. Trust is built on the recognition that your source is unlimited. It does not depend on one job, one client, one deal, or one channel of income. If one door closes, it is only because another, better one is opening. When you know this, you can meet apparent setbacks without panic, understanding that they are simply redirections toward greater good. You no longer see delays as denials, but as part of the perfect timing that ensures your blessing arrives in its most complete and beneficial form. When you rest in trust, you live in a state of inner ease. You stop counting the days, worrying over the numbers, or comparing your progress to others. You know that your journey is unique and guided. This peace allows you to enjoy the present moment, which is the most magnetic state for attracting abundance. The energy of trust radiates calm assurance, and that energy draws to you people, ideas, and opportunities that match it. Trust also allows you to take inspired action without fear of failure. Because you know that your ultimate supply comes from the divine, you are not paralyzed by the thought of making mistakes. Even if something does not go as planned, you trust that it is still working together for your highest good. This freedom to act without fear often leads you directly to the very opportunities you have been waiting for. There is a deep rest that comes from knowing you are cared for, that your needs are known, and that your blessings are inevitable. This rest is not laziness, but a profound surrender of worry. It is the decision to lay down the burden of how and when, and to focus instead on living in gratitude for what is already here. Gratitude feeds trust, and trust multiplies blessings. In this space, you find that life unfolds with more ease than you imagined. Answers come in perfect timing, resources arrive exactly when needed, and opportunities present themselves without strain. You begin to see that trust was never about waiting for something to happen. It was about recognizing that it was already happening and allowing yourself to be at peace while it did. And now, as you sink deeper into the stillness of this night, let every word spoken settle into the fertile soil of your mind. The seeds of abundance have been planted, the channels of wealth have been opened, and the flow of divine provision is already moving toward you. You need do nothing more but rest, for the unseen is arranging the scene, and your good is on its way. Sleep peacefully knowing you are safe, you are provided for, and you are blessed beyond measure. When you awaken, you will step into a day overflowing with opportunities, favor, and provision, carrying with you the unshakable knowing that all the wealth of heaven is behind you, beside you, and within you, now and always.